Hello YouTube, my name is Nero. Today we have some more Call of Duty World War II. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So today we have some pretty shocking news involving Call of Duty World War II, and this news may be the start of a fundamental shift in the Call of Duty franchise, a shift that I'm not very excited about. So no doubt you guys have noticed that throughout Call of Duty World War II's lifecycle, some very strange decisions have been made on the part of Sledgehammer. The entire community will be seemingly saying one thing, but Sledgehammer will counter by saying that their internal data knows better. Well, what if I told you that all this time, their internal data was simply the number of people running requisitions, and that the entire game is balanced around that one basic training and not the other way around? I know that sounds crazy, but that appears to be the case because it was revealed in yesterday's community update, which there's a link to that down there in the description, that Requisitions is the most used basic training in Call of Duty World War II, and nothing that Sledgehammer has tried to sway fans away from it has actually worked. Requisitions is the reason why they buffed up Ordnance, it's the reason why they added Blitzkrieg, and it's also the reason why we were stuck with Domination 50 for the first 6 months of this game's life cycle. Remember all those times Michael Contry told us that fans preferred Domination 50 even though pretty much everybody online was saying the opposite? Well, it's looking like they were actually looking at the number of people using Requisitions, and they realized that if they gave us more score per kill, that suddenly Requisitions would be wildly out of control. They did say in their weekly update that Requisitions was intended to give novice players a route to obtain mid-tier score streaks like flat guns and the artillery and maybe the emergency airdrop, and they also said it was not intended to allow highly skilled players to earn top-tier score streaks every single game. But I think this is just them backpedaling a little bit, because we've been telling them since November that good players are abusing Requisitions. In fact, let's check out my video. How common is it for you to get 2,400 score in a single match? Is that pretty common? I think it's common for most people out there. Well, if that's true, you could actually earn a paratroopers every single game. Can you pull off 3,600 score? Because if you can get the ball turret gunner. Yes, the ball turret gunner, the biggest streak in the game, every single match. It's really not all that hard. And the other streaks, which are easier to get, like the carpet bomber, the fire bombing run, the emergency airdrop, which is actually quite fun because you can get big score streaks from that as well, they are all obtainable in a single match if you play the objective and you are running Requisitions. Now keep in mind, that was posted 2 weeks after Call of Duty World War II came out, and ever since then people have been talking about Requisitions. We all thought it was way too strong. We honestly thought it was an oversight on the part of Sledgehammer, and we thought that it would be nerfed in the relatively near future, but Sledgehammer just kind of let it be for 6 months or so until they finally nerfed it with yesterday's update. And what they did to nerf it was actually a good idea in my opinion. What they did is they didn't kill the basic training, but they made it so the top tier score streaks are now much more difficult to obtain than previously, and in certain game modes, this nerf is exactly what the doctor ordered. Like in free-for-all, paratroopers no longer a very big deal, and team deathmatch Requisitions is really not that big of a deal whatsoever, and the same is true for other game modes like Gridiron and Kill Confirmed. It's a pretty good update. But in other game modes like Hardpoint and Domination, which are the two game modes where people are using Requisitions to begin with, those modes have not really been affected by this nerf whatsoever, because in Hardpoint, you get an absurd amount of score. If you're playing the objective, you just get so much score in that game mode, and so Requisitions is still a very big problem while playing in that mode. And Domination, forgive me for repeating myself from my previous video, but in Domination, they've essentially buffed up Requisitions because we now have 75 points per kill, and with how the math works out, even with the nerfs, you can get your Requisition streaks easier now than you could previously. So I really have to wonder, what was the line of thinking going into this? It really seems to me that Sledgehammer wants Requisitions to be a very big deal in game modes like Hardpoint and Domination, and dare I say, I think they want this to be part of the Call of Duty franchise going forward, because we have now had 2 straight games where Requisitions, or a form of it, has been in the game, and fans are becoming accustomed to it. Despite YouTubers like myself making videos and people on Reddit making constant threads about it, it's seeming like we are just in the vocal minority, because despite all of that, it's still the most used basic training in the entire game, and it seems like fans want to have something similar to that in the Call of Duty franchise going forward, which is not something I would personally like to see, because fans are now getting used to being able to get any streak they want blunt, regardless of how good they are or how bad they play, and that kind of gameplay isn't what Call of Duty used to be about. And I hate to play the old hat here, but if we're talking about sales numbers and player count, the heyday of the Call of Duty series was between 2009 and 2012. And that, of course, was when they gave us Modern Warfare 2 and the original Black Ops and Modern Warfare 3 and Black Ops 2, and each of those games had really powerful and rewarding kill streaks. And one of the big reasons why Call of Duty became as popular as it was back then was because of the reward system. It encouraged people to get good at the game, and the better you played, the more reward you got from the game itself, and it was always so intense and engaging because at any second, you're hunting down that chopper gunner, you're trying to get that AC-130 or that tactical nuke or the dogs, the swarm, or what have you, and at any moment, you could die and you have to start your streak over, but if you survived, it felt so rewarding because those streaks were so powerful and they just tore apart the other team. And here in Call of Duty World War II, not only are the streaks weaker than in those previous games, it's also not as fun to even go for them because requisitions is a thing. It's so rampant that there's really no point in trying to get streaks any other way. I saw a video recently from Exclusive Ace, and I think he said it perfectly, so allow him to take over from here.
The rush for earning paratroopers the standard way, it just isn't really there, or at least not nearly to the same extent as it used to be, and this is largely due to the fact that Requisitions is in the game and balanced the way it is. Why would I want to grind game after game, aiming for those paratroopers that are really difficult to earn, building up that tension, using my skill level to stay alive and keep that streak going in order to get that reward at the end of keeping that streak going? Why would I do that when I can swap out my basic training skill and I can earn a set of paratroopers every single game that I play with no tension, no build-up, no adrenaline rush? Also, if I do go into a game and I earn that set of paratroopers the standard way without requisitions, it kind of feels like a slap in the face to earn that reward and call it in and be all excited about it, but then 3 more sets of them get called in throughout the game by people that are running requisitions and didn't work nearly as hard as you worked to earn that streak. Requisitions, in my opinion, at least with the way it's balanced, where decent players can put up some of the best streaks in the game every single game that they play, this is destroying the short-term reward system in Call of Duty, in my opinion.
I think Ace made a really good point here, and to be clear, I think Ace makes a lot of great points. I watch a lot of his videos. I think he's a great YouTuber, but he definitely makes a good point in saying that the short-term reward system has been completely flip-flopped here in Call of Duty World War II, because in previous games, the reward system was all about you improving at the game, being able to dominate other players, and having the game reward you with streaks that could snowball into some really memorable moments and some really awesome matches. In this game, it seems like the reward system is more about you completing daily orders and opening supply drops than anything, right? Because with everybody and their mother running requisitions, the streaks don't feel like a reward as much as they feel like just another part of the match. All the fun, all the tension, the risk, and the reward that kill streaks used to offer in previous games just really isn't here in Call of Duty World War II. I've seen a lot of people saying, well, requisitions isn't a big deal because the streaks suck anyway, so why is it a big problem? Well, why do you think score streaks are the way they are? Why do you think that Sledgehammer is afraid to buff the streaks in this game, even though pretty much everybody across the board feels as though that they are too weak? I'll tell you guys, it's because of requisitions. They don't want the streaks in this game to be too powerful when everybody can obtain them every single match regardless of their skill level. And I honestly think, and I can't confirm this obviously, but I honestly think that if requisitions was not a thing, the buffed up score streaks that we get from the Blitzkrieg basic training, I think those would be standard across the board. Like, that's how powerful streaks would be by default, and then Blitzkrieg would have to make them even more powerful than that. Like, I really do think that requisitions is holding the streaks in this game back from being powerful. I think it's holding us back from getting Domination 100, even though 81% of the player base wants Domination 100. And I also think that Requisitions is causing a lot of people to leave the game and go play other things. Now, obviously, they're keeping Requisitions because of how many people enjoy using it, but I can promise you guys that Requisitions has directly and indirectly caused a ton of players to stop playing Call of Duty World War II. Good players are leaving because either they don't feel rewarded or because they're tired of dying to people who are using streaks that they didn't earn, and bad players are leaving because why would they invest time and money and anything else into this game when they already feel like they have mastered it, right? There's nothing to work towards because they're already getting the best streaks in the game pretty much every single match. One of the reasons why I was able to continue playing Call of Duty 4 as long as I did back in the day, and for those who don't know, Call of Duty 4 had 3 kill streaks. There was a UAV, an airstrike, and an attack helicopter. The reason why I continued playing that game was not because the game handed me attack helicopters helicopters every single match, but rather I was always dying to other people. Like, I was always being outgunned, I was always dying to airstrikes, I was always dying to helicopters, and I wanted to be on the other side of that. I wanted to be the guy getting the kills, I wanted to be the guy calling in the airstrikes and getting the helicopters, and so I continued to invest the time and the effort into the game, and eventually I made the transition to become that guy, and that's one of the reasons why I still play Call of Duty to this day. Like, it's really fun once you make the transition from guy getting killed all the time to guy getting all the kills. That's actually really fun. But here in Call of Duty World War II, people aren't making that transition, right? They're staying at whatever skill level they entered the game in, and that's because they have no reason to try to improve. And I hate to bring it up, but it's just so relevant to this topic. When you look at a game like Fortnite, that's a game that really rewards you for investing the time and the effort. Like, I watch Marksman livestream. I don't even play Fortnite myself, but I watch Marksman livestream, and he is so freaking good at that game. He's on a whole other level. Like, his kill death ratio is well above a 15 last time I checked, and that's because that game really does reward you for investing the time and the effort to getting good. And the same is true for other competitive games out there like CSGO and a bunch of other ones. But then when you look at a game like Call of Duty and they add something like Requisitions, which really does blur the line between a good player and a bad player, it's like, what's going on here? What's the point in trying to get really good at this game if I don't even have to be good to get the same rewards as all the good players, right? And to be clear, a good player in COD is still much better than a bad player, right? If you're a good player, like, it's clear. You can tell when someone's actually good. They're out there capturing the flags and playing the objective and getting all the kills and getting tons of score. Like, you can tell who's good and who's bad, but still, the line between the two is being blurred by something like Requisitions, and I really don't like that. And a lot of people don't like that. I understand that some people do, but a lot of people don't like that, which is why there are so many YouTube videos and Reddit threads and everything else being made about this subject. It's because it goes against everything that made the older Call of Duty games so great. And pick your poison as to what COD we're talking about here, right? Modern Warfare 2, Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare 3, Black Ops 2, the original Black Ops, Ghost, any of them, right? If those games had Requisitions, would they have been as good? Because I really don't think that they would, right? So take Black Ops 2, just as an example. Would that game be as good if the entire game was balanced around the Requisitions perk? If all the score streaks had to be lowered down to be not as good because everyone's using Requisitions, and if you got less score in your matches, again, to compensate for Requisitions, and if every player in the game could get a VSAT Dogs and Swarm every match, would that game have been as good? Probably not, right? The same is true for Modern Warfare 2. If everybody got a chopper gunner every game, would it be nearly as fun? Probably not. Like, can you imagine if Modern Warfare 2 Remastered comes out and it has a new perk called Requisitions in the place of stopping power? Like, that would be insane. Like, that would be such a different game. And I honestly can't think of a single COD that would be made better by adding Requisitions to it, which makes me wonder, like, why is it even here in Call of Duty World War II? Like, it's a really sad day to me for the Call of Duty franchise when Requisitions is the most popular perk in the game. Keep in mind, a game that has perks like Hustle and Hunker and Inconspicuous and all the other great basic trainings in this game, when Requisitions is the most popular one. And not only that, but they're balancing the entire game around that one basic training, that one idea that everybody should be entitled to everything regardless of skill level. That's not what the older Call of Duty games were about, and that's why I'm concerned about the future of Call of Duty World War II, and I'm also concerned about the future of the Call of Duty franchise, because if Sledgehammer is so hellbent on keeping Requisitions a thing and keeping it relevant and keeping it useful here in this game, what if that's because it's the new norm? It's the new standard in the Call of Duty series. Like, what if Black Ops 4 has something similar to this, and the game after that, and the game after that, and this is just a brand new thing for the Call of Duty series? If that's true, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I don't want that to be the future of the Call of Duty franchise. I know some people do, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, but I know a lot of people out there don't want that to be the case. They want things to be the way they were back in the day, and so it's a never-ending debate, right? There's always going to be these people who want the game to stay the same, other people want the game to evolve and maybe adapt to new times and change things up. Like, there's always going to be a discussion to be had there, which is why topics like this get discussed so much here on YouTube. But ladies and gentlemen, I think that's enough here for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts and feedback down there in the comment section below, and I would like to end off the video here with one other bit of news. Sledgehammer did reveal in yesterday's community update not only that entire thing involving Requisitions, but they also revealed that Ground War will permanently be coming back this coming Wednesday, and they even teased that a one-shot sniper playlist will also be coming to the game next week. We don't know if they're going to be making more changes to Requisitions. A lot of people are talking about that right now, but they may leave things the way they are. They may test out for a while. We really have no idea. But as always, I will keep you guys up to date with more news and more information as it becomes available. And in case you guys haven't heard, we are 5 days away from the official reveal of Call of Duty Black Ops 4. What if in the reveal trailer or with the reveal gameplay, because it's widely speculated to be like all multiplayer stuff, right? What if Requisitions is just there? Like, it's a new perk, they call it Requisitions, it's there in Call of Duty Black Ops 4. That would be freaking mind-blowing, but of course, time will tell. I'll keep you guys up to date with more information as it becomes available. But until then, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, drop me a rating, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.